What's up, everyone? My name is Sarah,
And I'm Philip.
and this is Music Purrex, where we discuss everything music from artists to albums to tracks. And our first artist that we are going to be discussing is Kendrick Lamar and his album Damn. It was Kendrick's fourth studio album that was released by Top Dog Entertainment and Interscope Records on April 14th, 2017. It topped the charts in the United States and Canada, with Humble being his first #1 single on the US Billboard Hot 100. We also are going to be discussing his collector's edition, released December 7th of 2017.
Numbered 44,950.
So I wanted to first discuss about Kendrick himself as an artist. Most people would compare him or say that he is the modern Tupac, and I have to agree with that. In his music, he's talking about life. He's very real with his words.
He gives you the story.
Yeah, he always has a story. That's exactly what I'm saying, is that he's talking about life, and I feel like that's exactly what this album portrays, especially with the collector's edition. The difference between the original pressing and the collector's edition, this is the track list on the collector's edition is reversed. And so it starts off with Duckworth, which, for those of you who didn't know, Duckworth is Kendrick's last name. I feel it's important for that song to be first, because I feel like he's putting himself first. It's an introduction to who he is. He's putting himself first for the first time, and I feel like that's how he originally perceived it to be. He talks about himself, to religion and God, to fear, to love, pride, loyalty, and humbleness. I feel like with him starting with himself, he's also ending the album with the message of being yourself, be real, don't ever be fake, be humble about life, about everything.
The way that he portrayed the re-release, if you will, putting himself first rather than last like he did on the original, it kind of gave the same story but in reverse. In this production of his album, Blood is first, and it drops to DNA, yeah, Element, Feel, Loyalty featuring Rihanna, Pride, Humble, Lust, Love featuring Zakari, Triple X featuring U2, Fear, God, and Duckworth. Duckworth being last. My interpretation of it is he went through the fears and trials that he had to do in his life to get to be Duckworth. Whereas in his re-release, Duckworth is first. He gets to be himself and show you all of his trials and tribulations on how he became. So, same storyline, different context.
The thing is with it being reversed is I feel like the vibe and the attitude is completely different. Like you said, with the collector's edition, he through the whole CD, he's going through fear and conquering it all. I also like the fact that Kendrick implements bits of jazz in his music. I feel like that's important, especially with this generation. I feel like it's introducing bits of that genre to this generation, and no one else does that. No other artist, at least
Nowadays,
does anything like that, and I find that interesting.
#1 who would have been telling these stories back in the days, your traditional Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Eminem. Eminem's a prolific wordsmith, is how Kendrick has been actually quoted saying what he is able to do with words is basically almost impossible for somebody like us in layman's terms. The way that he perceives each song would be head on And he's been quoted numerous times saying, you know, he doesn't. He makes sure to bring his A game every single time. He's a prolific person that will just continue to strive to be better. And in all reality, this music isn't for him, it's for the masses. It's for us.
It's telling us to, like, what's the saying is stay woke.
Exactly. Stay awake. Say, be aware of what's going on in the world. Know that you're not into a...
you're not a machine.
You're not a machine or a robot. So with a few of the big bangers on this CD, I would say Loyalty, Humble, Love, Element, DNA are some of the bigger songs. But for somebody that hasn't heard the album, I would recommend Yeah, really strong song. And then, I mean, Humble, you can't go wrong. Humble is basically just telling yourself, you know, hey, hold up, you know, be humble. You know what I mean? Don't get too far ahead, because there's always somebody that's coming to take your spot. You always got to be humble. You always got to know what's going on around you. You always got to know how to perceive that.
Who your people are, who your surroundings are, everything. I feel like this album in its entirety is just important in itself. I prefer the collector's edition. I prefer the reverse track. It's just the vibe from the story that it's telling backwards. You could play it either way. Totally different vibe in reverse, and it's almost like it's a completely different album that you're listening to. Especially because, like we've been saying, the beginning of the CD, talking about him going through all these different emotions,
trials, tribulations,
but conquering it.
But conquering everything that he's going through. Another good way to look at it for the original releasing, you go through it and you say, okay, first song would be Blood. DNA is basically going through what you want to hear compared to what he's actually trying to say. This is a lot of really aware rhymes in DNA. I think it's actually one of his better songs on the album, just for the sheer fact of how he perceived it towards us as the masses. Element. You can't take yourself out of the element. You can't take him out of the element. He's in it. And that's the way that he's wanting to perceive you as well, I believe. He wants you to feel like nobody can take you out of your element. And that's why I believe he went through and did trials and tribulations, because it's something that we can all relate to.
So with that said, be humble.
Sit down. Be humble.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our little commentary in regards to this album. If you'd like, subscribe. Thanks.
Have a good day.